Welcome back to Sweet Peas and Saffron. I'm Denise and I'm sharing easy meal prep recipes to give you your time back during the week. Today we are talking about the most important meal of the day. That would be breakfast. If you're not meal prepping your breakfast, you've got to get on it. You are going to save yourself so much time in the morning. You're going to save money by not hitting up Starbucks or the drive-thru. And you're going to fuel your body with healthy, wholesome ingredients that are going to keep you so much more full and energetic in the morning. Today I'm going to show you how to bulk prep 4 breakfast recipes. These recipes serve between 8 to 12 and they are perfect for large families. They're great for holidays. They're great for everyday meal prep. And they're also great if you are just on your own because you can freeze the leftovers. So if you don't get through them, you can just pop them in the freezer for another week. Now before we get started, I have a question for you. So when it comes to dinner, I like to mix it up. Lunches, I can repeat a few times, but I generally like to keep that kind of mixed up as well in terms of variety. For breakfast, I could eat the same thing 365 days of the year and be completely satisfied. What about you? Do you like variety in your breakfast or can you repeat it over and over? Leave me a comment below because I want to know if I'm just weird or if there are other people out there like me. Okay, let's take a look at these recipes. So the first recipe is a sheet pan pancake recipe. Now, this is perfect for those of you who hate flipping pancakes because we just pour the batter into a baking dish and bake it up in the oven. The other great thing about this recipe is you can mix it all up in one bowl. So to your bowl, you're going to add 1 cup of whole wheat flour, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 scoop of protein powder. Now this is about 1/2 cup. 1½ tablespoons of baking powder, 1/4 cup of maple syrup, 1/4 cup of either butter or coconut oil melted, 2 large eggs, 1¼ cups of milk. Mix your batter up until there are no little pockets of powder, and then we're going to scrape it into a 9 by 13 baking dish. Make sure that you spray it generously with oil before putting the batter in. Next, we're going to add our blueberries. Now, you can use your favorite fruit. I've had readers use all sorts of different types of fruit in this recipe, so you can check out the comments on the blog post if you're wondering what works and what doesn't. Now, we're going to pop it in the oven and bake for 15 to 18 minutes until the pancake springs back to the touch. This makes 8 portions. You can freeze them or you can portion them out into bento boxes with some fruit and yogurt, and it's awesome and very kid-friendly as well. Okay, our second recipe is another sheet pan recipe. This one we're going to cook on a 12 by 17 inch baking sheet, and I don't think I need to tell you, but just in case, it needs to be a rimmed baking sheet, at least 1 inch deep. So to a large bowl, crack 18 eggs, and we're going to beat the eggs, and then we'll stir in 3/4 cup of milk, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. Now make sure you grease your baking sheet with a little bit of olive oil and just kind of rub it all over, get the sides as well. And pour our egg mixture into the sheet pan. Now we're going to add our toppings, and you can get totally creative at this point. I've added some bacon, bell peppers, mushrooms, and cheese. Now, very carefully get the baking sheet into the oven, bake for 10 minutes, then rotate the pan, bake for another 10 minutes, and then your eggs should be ready. So to get the eggs out of the pan, just carefully run a knife along the edge, and then scoop out with a spatula. So these sheet pan eggs make 12 servings, and they're great served with an English muffin or some toast. You can even use them on a breakfast sandwich. So that's it for our sheet pan eggs. Now our third recipe is peach baked oatmeal. You can swap the fresh peaches in this recipe for frozen peaches or berries or sliced apples. It's a really flexible recipe that works well with a lot of different fruit. So to a large bowl, we are going to add 3 cups of rolled oats, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger. Add 2 cups of almond milk or any dairy milk will work, 2 eggs, half a cup of maple syrup, and 4 cups of fruit. We're going to spray our baking dish. This is a 9 by 13 inch baking dish. And then we're going to scrape our baked oatmeal mixture into the pan. Sprinkle with sliced almonds. You can skip this or use your favorite nut. Bake in the oven for 45 to 55 minutes until the edges are golden brown and the middle of the oatmeal is set. This oatmeal is best served with a big dollop of yogurt and some extra fresh fruit, and a generous drizzle of maple syrup. So this baked oatmeal recipe makes 8 portions, it's kid-friendly, it's freezer-friendly, it's just a really delicious recipe. Our fourth and final breakfast bulk prep recipe is a breakfast casserole with bacon and sweet potatoes. Now this is a family favorite during the holidays because you can assemble all the ingredients ahead and refrigerate overnight and then bake it up in the morning. But you can also just bake it right away and portion out the leftovers and enjoy them through the week. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cook up 8 slices of bacon. Cool it slightly and then chop into bite-sized pieces. Next we're going to crack 12 eggs and beat them, and then stir in 1 cup of milk, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, and 1 teaspoon of ground cumin. Mix it all up. And then we're going to spray our baking dish with oil and arrange some grated sweet potato. So you don't cook the sweet potato, just grate it on a box grater and arrange it in the baking dish. On top of the sweet potato, we're going to add 3 chopped bell peppers, 3 jalapenos. If you want it spicy, you can leave the seeds in. If you don't want it spicy, then remove them. Next, we're going to sprinkle with the bacon, 1 cup of cheese, and we're going to pour the egg mixture over top. Mix it all up and sprinkle with the remaining cheese. Now at this point, you can cover and refrigerate overnight, or you can bake it up right away. We're going to bake it in the oven for 45 minutes to 1 hour until the center is set, and you can just insert a knife to check if it's baked through. Allow your casserole to sit for 10 minutes before slicing up and serving. I love this breakfast casserole because it's full of vegetables, but it doesn't feel like you're eating a ton of vegetables, so it's kind of sneaky. If you guys give one of these recipes a try, I would love it if you would leave a rating or a review on the recipe, or share on social media with #SweetPeasAndSaffron. And if you liked this video, you're going to love the next video where I show you how to make 7 different freezer chicken marinades, which is another great way to bulk meal prep. See you in the next video.
Rolling!
That's extremely distracting. My hands are like